thrill me.
This show is part of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Experience more on Facebook and YouTube.
It's Review It Man, reviewing what he can. Movies are his jam, so let's get twisted, man. It's Review It Rob.
Hey, yo, welcome into the show, man. Special second episode of the week, man. Normally do one show per week, but last week I got to see 2 films in theaters. We had a great release week of films, and I was able to see a couple movies in theaters. I was like, I'm going to do 2 separate episodes because both films deserve their own freaking shows, man. So I've already released Ghostbusters Frozen Empire this week. Hopefully you listened to that already. If not, that is out there for you to listen to and hopefully enjoy. But I also saw another film in the spooky realm, much more horror related than Ghostbusters, and that's not a shot at Ghostbusters. Obviously Ghostbusters is its style, and it's a fun style over there, babies. But this was a straight up horror film in Immaculate, starring Sydney Sweeney. I ended up seeing that movie. Gonna give my thoughts on that, of course, as always on the show, spoiler free, so we're not gonna spoil anything, obviously, but gonna talk about that and any news that's come out, man. We've had some interesting news articles coming out since the last episode, which was just a couple days ago. So we've got some fun news to talk about on this episode as well. So again, appreciate you always taking the time to listen to me ramble on and geek out over the movie news of the world, and hopefully you're having fun with me here while I'm having some fun. So without further ado, let's jump into this film review. It is, again, Immaculate. It is rated R for some language, nudity, grisly images, and strong violent content. It is, like I mentioned before, a horror film, and it's running in at 1 hour and 29 minutes. This is, of course, only playing in theaters at the moment. Again, Sydney Sweeney stars in this film as Cecilia, an American nun of devout faith. It's kind of funny, aren't all nuns devout faith? Anyways, American nun of devout faith, embarking on a new journey in a remote convent in the picturesque Italian countryside. Cecilia's warm welcome quickly devolves into a nightmare as it becomes clear her new home harbors a sinister secret and unspeakable horrors. Rotten Tomatoes critics have it at a 70%, while the audience is pretty close at a 61%. The IMDb side has it at 6.3 out of 10. As always, I give you those scores not because I follow them, but because it just shows that anybody has any kind of feels about a movie, and it's okay to have your own opinions about films. So, with that said, what are my thoughts on this film? So going into it, the only information I had on this movie is the trailer. I saw the trailer. I was like, that looks interesting. It looks interesting. It looks pretty wild. It looks like it could be a solid film, right? We've throughout history, horror and religion have always kind of run into each other, and that we've seen plenty of religion based horror films or horror films that have religion and them, most notably recently with the Conjuring franchise and that nature. This film, no different, obviously. We're dealing with a nun, and not a nun like the Conjuring nun, but more, we're in a convent with our character Sydney Sweeney, which, by the way, knew nothing about Sydney Sweeney going into. I didn't know much about Sydney Sweeney going into this movie. I've never seen Euphoria. I have not seen. Apparently, she's in The White Lotus, which is a show I need to watch. I've been telling myself to watch, but I have not seen that yet. I have not seen the rom-com film that she was in not too long ago. I believe it was called Anyone But You. I believe it was called. I did, however, see her in Madam Web, and we will not hold that against her. So. Again, going in, there's no bias towards any of the actors or performers in the film or anything like that. I was just going in to see a horror movie, which, if you know me, I love horror films. I can watch horror films every single day of the week. It's my love. I love horror films. So I was just excited from that. And again, the trailer, was interesting to see. So went into the movie excited. Was into it. Didn't realize it was only 90 minutes, which is a plus because the film works. It works really well, and the 90 minutes is fantastic in this film. Like, it does not take long for you to get into it. into the spooky, weird-esque things that are going on, grisly things that are happening in this movie. So, has a strong opening. We meet our character, our main character here, Sydney playing Cecilia. We meet that character. We're with her. The quick journey to her getting there, her getting, you know, voted in or whatever, sworn in or whatever. Whatever the thing. And we're there, and then just all this maddening stuff happens, right? And it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say it's a A24-esque mind effy kind of movie, if you know what I mean. But Neon, who is behind this movie, does have some films that can be pretty, mess with your mind. And they showed some other trailers for Neon films before it, and it was like, that seems like a weird movie as well. So I, it'll do that to you, but it's good. Like, it's strong. It's like a strong film, and I know feel how you want to feel about religion. It is what it is. Just watch the movie. Like, that's fine. But I like the horror aspects are good in here. It is a violent movie for sure. It is. I wasn't expecting nudity in the movie. There is some nudity in the film. Um, but it does get pretty grisly, man. It does, and it's a bit of, so obviously with the name of the film, you know what you're kind of getting into. If you have any, you don't even have to follow religion. You've probably all heard of that story of the um, Immaculate Conception, where Mary became pregnant without having any sexual relationship with anyone, and ended up being God's son, right? Jesus Christ, right? So you've probably all have heard of that, so that's what this is a play on. That is, if you've seen the trailer, you kind of get the idea. She gets there, all of a sudden she somehow becomes pregnant. Immaculate conception of her own. As you go throughout the film, things will get explained, and sinister secrets and all that stuff, as it says in the synopsis. But yes, I enjoyed this film. It is a good 90 minutes of solid story, solid performance. Goes by, keeps you interested, it keeps you on the edge of your seat, tuned in to trying to figure out what is going to happen here. How is she going to get out of this? Is she going to be able to get out of it? What's going to happen? What is going on? What is that happening over here? Why is that person? What happened? Right? So, very well put together. Sydney Sweeney, like I mentioned, didn't know much about her going in here. I think her performance is very strong in this film. I understand why people are praising her and all that stuff. Of course, people are focused on her looks. That's your deal, whatever. She sure looks fine. She looks great, but that's not who everything she is. Obviously, all women are more than their looks, and she is talented. Just from this one thing I've seen, again, we won't hold Madam Web against her, which she wasn't bad, Madam Web, either. That movie just altogether was its own issue, but she's really good in the movie. The supporting cast is strong, and just the eerie, uneasy feeling of the movie works. And again, there's some people who may see the movie and say, like, I even had the thoughts when watching it, I'm like, yeah, is this just an attack on religion and all this stuff? And I'm not an extremely religious person myself, but um, it could be taken that way, I guess, if you want it to be taken that way. I just look at it more as a story that they decided to make up, and um, off of another story that was out there, and they made a horror film, and that's cool, man. That's fine. Do what you need to do, but I like it. I liked the movie. I liked what they went with here. It kept me interested again the whole 90 minutes. I was into it. I'm like, good strong opening. I was like, holy crap, what is going on? Right? Already we got this sinister mystery thing happening right here in the beginning, right? And then we go from there. We're like, hey, we meet our character like you're gonna do in a horror film. You're gonna meet your character. You're supposed to get attached to them and hope you're gonna be on their side with them in the movie, right? That's the number one journey through a movie. So you're going to meet them, you're going to learn some stuff about them, you're going to go forward, and through there, like, there's no, to me, there's no slow parts, there's no bad parts in it. It's just all interesting. It's an excitement in a way of wanting to see how things get solved, and I think they delivered in this movie. So overall, enjoyed the film, which two films I saw in theaters back to back last week, and I guess spoiler from my episode earlier this week, I enjoyed both films, man. I liked Ghostbusters. Thought Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire was solid in its way, and I thought Immaculate was solid in its way, and that's fun, man. It's fun to be able to watch all kinds of different types of films and enjoy them, and thankfully we're in a world right now this week where films that have recently come out have been pretty dang solid. I have not seen Late Night with the Devil, or Last Night with the Devil. I've not seen that yet, but it'll be on Shudder pretty soon, and I will gladly see it there. But I'm hearing amazing things about that film, which is great to see. I heard amazing things about it already on Kevin Smith's podcast of him talking about it well before it officially released in its limited run. So exciting times, man! Exciting times, and Godzilla X Kong is about to come out, and I'm seeing that tomorrow night as they're recording this episode, and I'll be reviewing that on the regular show next week, man. But also this week we have the first Omen releasing, right? So I think that's this week. So there's so many things happening right now. We haven't even hit the summertime blockbusters and all that stuff, but the first Omen, does that release this week? Yes, it does. No. Yes. No. No, it does not. I got confused. So this week is just the one movie, Godzilla X Kong. Next week is the first Omen and Monkey Man, which is another movie that just looks freaking sinister and wild and crazy and insane. And I'm just like, I'm in, you know? So, fun times at the old movie theaters if you're having a good time. But as for Immaculate itself, I thought it was very good. I thought it was a really good, put together 90-minute freaking story of religion and sinister and just grisly craziness. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked the performance. A good, solid introduction to Sydney Sweeney as we, try to block out Madam Web a little bit more. But it's good, man. Go check out Immaculate if you've not seen it. It is worth your 90 minutes for sure. Of course, there's extra time if you're seeing it in theaters because of the ads and all that stuff, which trailers cool, ads don't need, but trailers are awesome. So yes, Immaculate gets my 2 very enthusiastic thumbs up. All right, going from there, quick horror news, big horror news, especially for me. Chucky. We got some Chucky news. Chucky, the season 3 continues in 2 weeks. 2 weeks, the show will be back. Season 3 will continue, so I might have to do a little rewatch again. Which is not a problem because I love that show to death and love anything Chucky. And we got some pretty exciting news today on the Chucky front that from Don Mancini, who's been with the Chucky franchise from its beginning, that they are working on another film. This would be the 8th movie. So they're doing a film, and I wasn't expecting a movie anytime soon because the show is still going on and the show has not been canceled. It is still running, and we don't have news yet if it's been picked up for another season or not. But seeing how they are running with the show now, and they've waited all this time through the break and everything to get the show back going and running is a good sign. So it's cool. It's awesome. I'm so excited that there's going to be a film. I don't know if it's going to be on straight streaming release or in theaters. We haven't seen a Chucky film in theaters of this franchise since Seed. Seed of Chucky was the last movie that was in theaters. There was the Child's Play remake that came out that had Chucky, but that was the remake world. Not this franchise. So this franchise hasn't been on the big screen in a while. So I would love to see Chucky back on the big screen. Either way, I'm excited to have a film, and the film will coincide with the show. So it's not going to deviate too crazily or anything like that as far as we can tell. Now, of course, the Chucky franchise has done its own thing for quite some time. It does take some turns. So we'll see what happens. I know Don Mancini mentioned at some point in time about Chucky in space or Chucky versus Megan being possibility, or all these kinds of things that could possibly happen. We'll have to see, but excitement nonetheless, man. That was fun news I was not expecting to see today, so very, very excited about that. Over on the DC side, not much film news to really talk about, but they did announce today, video game-wise, that the DC Universe game, which has been around almost 15 years, I believe, has now officially joined the PS5. So this is the free-to-play multiplayer online action game thing. I want to say I played once a long time ago. that is now officially on the PS5. So if you have the PS5, there you go. You can play that. Other news around the movie realms. Um, this is starting to give me a headache, this franchise, but just because of the back and forth. Like, I love the franchise. I've loved every single movie in this franchise, but the unknown, every couple of months we're going to change what we're doing, is starting to become a bit of a head problem. And I'm talking about the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. Pirates of the Caribbean. um, so Jerry Bruckheimer was recently talking about films, and of course, he's produced a ton of films, and they were talking about Top Gun and all that stuff. And he brought up that while he was talking about that and doing films, he brought up the fact that the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise is being rebooted. So yeah, and then he mentioned something about how working with Tom Cruise is great and lovely actor and loving all that stuff, and it's easy to do Top Gun. And then when it comes to Pirates, they're rebooting that so he doesn't have to worry about a certain characters coming back or anything like that, which pretty much tells you, I don't know if that was a shot at Johnny Depp or not, but it pretty much tells you they're not bringing Johnny Depp back for that, which ridiculous. I know, I understand. Hollywood is a really, really terrible place, but this franchise, man, like I don't know what's going on over there. We've heard that it was being um, rebooted before, and then that went away, and they're like, we're writing a new movie that'll be a certain story, and then we're writing a movie with Margot Robbie, which is going to be a more female-led Pirates film, and then that was off track based on responses by Margot Robbie saying that they didn't want to do it. And then Bruckheimer confirmed it later that it's just off the track for now. We're still kind of working around that. Now we're on the reboot side of things. So I don't know. Stay tuned to the show. I will gladly talk about it. Whatever news comes out there, but it's just maddening, right? That franchise has made a ton of money, and just why they can't get it figured out, I do not know. Replacing Johnny Depp is not an easy thing, obviously, but whew, and now trying that's good luck to him. Like, good luck to him. You're not gonna. I can't see any way a Pirates film without Johnny Depp at this point works. Like, you're gonna have to have him in there as a cameo or something. If you're gonna start a new world, he's gotta be in there somewhere as Captain Jack Sparrow, even if it's just a quick cameo or something. Like, that's his franchise. Like, as much as it is a Disney ride that is very popular, that got turned into a film franchise, as the most successful of those, they've had a hard time turning these rides into movies. That is the one that has worked the best, and you know, a lot of that was based off the love for Johnny Depp. So good luck is all I can say when it comes to making another Pirates film. Um, Something else has been in limbo for quite a long time, but this is kind of um, positive news, if you'll take it as positive news, in that Star Trek 4 has a writer. Steve Yoki, who is the creator behind the Flight Attendant series, is the new screenwriter for Star Trek 4. The details for the story are not well known at the moment, but Paramount and Bad Robot intend the project to be the final chapter for the cast they introduced in 2009 Star Trek rebooted franchise. So we've been waiting for news on this for quite some time as well, and that's just another one that's kind of just seemed back and forth, where it's like it's gonna happen, then it's not gonna happen, and then Quentin Tarantino's making a movie, and then that didn't happen, and we've heard they're coming back and making a new movie with the 2009 franchise. And then it's just been kind of quiet. I really enjoy those films. Like, those movies are so solid to me, that trilogy of films, and I've been hoping for something else. So this is a good positive sign that they've added a screenwriter, and hopefully that goes forward. Now, with that said, Paramount is still also developing a separate Star Trek movie that would feature a new cast and a story meant as an origin story for the franchise. So Your guess is as good as mine. I the Trek fans, I guess, are I don't know. You let me know if you're a Star Trek fan in the comments how you're feeling about all this. I know there's been a lot of shows that have come out around the Star Trek franchise that seemingly people are enjoying, and um, I don't see. Maybe it's because I don't follow it as heavily, but I don't see as much negativity in the Star Trek fan base as there is in the Star Wars fan base with all the projects that are out there and coming out and about to happen or in talks to happen and all that stuff. And that's not a shot at Star Wars. I enjoy Star Wars. I'm having a good time. I'm very excited about this Acolyte show that looks really freaking good. So, and I'm excited for the movies. With Rey Skywalker that's coming, and Rogue Squadrons is back on the board to be worked on. So I'm excited for all of it. Like, I enjoy both Star Wars and Star Trek, so I'm glad there's stuff happening there. I would just hope to know more information, about if it's actually happening or not. Um, I don't like the carrot being dangled in front of me for so long of being able to see another film with this awesome cast that you gave us in 2009 and subsequently the films that came after, especially one of my favorite actors, Sofia Boutella, joining in Star Trek Beyond as Jayla. So, dude, we gotta figure this out. And if you're doing two films at the same time, it's just insane. Like, we're making a movie and then we're making another movie. One movie's the end, one movie's the beginning. Figure it out, guys. Let's get it figured out. Let's get it going. All right, and last bit of news here is that a sequel to the 2018 hit mystery comedy film A Simple Favor is officially on the way. The sequel will be starring Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively, and will have Paul Feig back to direct. If you have not seen A Simple Favor, do yourself a favor and watch that movie. I thought it was pretty solid. Now, I haven't seen it since probably 2018 or 2019, whenever I did end up seeing that movie, but I did like it. I thought it was an enjoyable movie, man. So check that out. That's cool. They're doing a sequel. I was not expecting a sequel to that movie, but that is fun news. There's also a sequel in the works for John Tucker Must Die. I don't know why, but hey, I'm as big of a Sophia Bush fan as a lot of Sophia Bush fans are, so I'm not going to complain, but did not know that that needed to happen. But whatever, dude. Hollywood's going to Hollywood, right? So there you go. But that's going to do it for this week's episode, man. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've seen Immaculate, let me know your thoughts. I've seen a lot of positive reviews for this film, man. So if you saw it, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Chucky movie, are you excited as I am? Probably not, because I'm a super Chucky fan, but that is fun stuff. DC Universe, are you going to be playing it now that it's on the PS5? Or are you already playing it? Have you been playing it for the almost 15 years that it's been around? Pirates of the Caribbean, are you excited for a new film, or will you watch it without Johnny Depp? Will you give it time? We shall see. Star Trek, are you a Trekkie? Do you like being called a Trekkie? Do you find excitement in the Star Trek news? Are you excited for one movie? Are you excited for both movies? What are you thinking? And that'll be it. So appreciate you joining in and listening to the show. As always, it is very awesome that you take the time to listen to me ramble on about movie news, man, because I have a fantastic time doing the show. And this will not be a rare occasion for me to release multiple episodes in a week. I've been kicking around this idea for a while, especially as, my show between episodes, a lot of news breaks, and some of it's kind of old news when I get around to recording, man. So maybe there is time. And again, hopefully I'll be able to continuously go to the movie theater when they have a lot of new films releasing on the same day, and I can, or the same week, and I can, do 2 episodes and do 2 special reviews and all that stuff, man, because this was fun. I like doing this, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I appreciate you taking the time, as always. So thank you, and I like to end every show with this, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, week, month, year, and remember, as always, that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. Talk to you all next episode.